Yeah, that's true. Well, anyway, okay. Waifus are great. It's not a competition, you guys. Your best girl is your
But
best girl.
if it was a competition, Ren wins.
I would put Ram definitely in like the S tier. Obviously, her design is fairly plain, but her personality and her writing and just who she is as a character, very compelling. Because she has, and I've talked about this before. She has a sacrificial male-like love. She's willing to die to protect her sister, to protect Subaru, and you don't see that with women. That's the whole point. She basically has the attributes of what we would call male love, which the tragedy is that's what men would love to have. Like, wouldn't it be wonderful if women loved men in that selfless, sacrificial way that men love women? Wouldn't that just be amazing? But they don't. So, but the waifus can because they're not limited by hypergamy and female nature the way flesh bags are. So there you
Okay,
go.
so
S tier waifu.
before we scare Halsey off, let's get back to the
Okay.
articles.
All right. Well, speaking of ghost guns, kind of a weird segue, but you mentioned the ghost guns thing, which we're not going to talk about, but it's whatever. Most of these next articles are like feminist articles. We're kind of done talking about politics for now. So, this is from the Philippines, philstar.com. Anti-ghosting bill offers no resolution closure either. They're making ghosting illegal. They're classifying ghosting as a form of violence, a form of emotional damage. So, what ghosting is men don't want to create because just so you know, this is how fucked up our system is. So women have all the advantages when it comes to everything, when it comes to men and women. And so what men have learned, if they don't want to be assaulted, because if you defend yourself, you're going to prison. The best way to deal with women is just to cut them off and disappear. There's no scene, there's no fight, there's no argument, there's no I'm going to call 911 and say that you hit me because you're not even there. If she tries to pull some bullshit and tries to call 911 and get you in trouble, you're not even there. You have an alibi. So ghosting is basically men protecting themselves from possible repercussions from women's irrational bullshit during a breakup. You tell a woman, hey, I'm not really into you, I'm leaving. You can't leave. I'll kill myself and blame you. Ah! And then the cops show up like, oh, you murdered this poor woman. Like, no, I didn't. She killed herself because whatever. And you're going to prison because crazy woman did crazy woman things and you got blamed for it because you were there. So the
So
best of
this law really just like gives you another reason out of the countless current reasons not to move in with a woman, because this says basically it only applies to straight relationships and if you were living together, and then if you just like quote unquote ghost them, like just like suddenly leave, take all of your stuff while they're at work or they're at the spa or something, and then just disappear, don't say anything or whatever, and that would count. So that's just, and like, to avoid what TFM just said. So now that's illegal. So you basically can't like safely leave
yeah, you can't.
after you move in with a woman
I think
or
it's
move in
interesting.
romantically.
I think it's really interesting that they're exempting straight people or they're exempting gay people. So this is basically to protect women from guys leaving. They don't want guys to just up and leave, and so they're making it illegal for guys to up and leave. It's just look.
We'll also note, because usually that like the ghosting thing that only happens, like usually it's only the guy doing it before marriage, and after marriage it's usually the woman who does it. Like, oh, we're getting divorced, she just like leaves the paper, and suddenly like you come home, suddenly half the furniture and stuff is like missing, or all the furniture, your kids are missing, and then you see a divorce paper. Like that's okay, because in that scenario you're married, so that's okay if you ghost in that scenario, because that's, for the safety of the woman or whatever.
Right.
But if it's
Well,
like pre-marriage and it's the guy that's doing it, now it's illegal.
okay. Just throw this on the pile of things that are only illegal when a man does it. Like a woman does it, no crime's been committed. A man does it, it's a heinous crime. And the other thing is like these are things that men are trying to do to protect themselves. Men are trying to, like, men love women. Men are hardwired instinctually and biologically to love women and want to be with women. And the government, through feminism, just keeps making it worse. They keep making the deal worse. they're just trying to find your line. Like, they don't think men have a line. And for some degree, I think that's true. No matter how bad the deal gets, men are just going to keep making the deal because their biology is telling them to, and they're slaves to it, which is sad. But no matter what men do to protect themselves from feminism will make it illegal for you to do that. They're not going to be satisfied until you're basically you're already a second-class citizen, but they want you to be like a slave class, where they can destroy your life for any or no reason on their whim, and there's nothing you can do to protect yourself, and that's the price you have to pay for the gift of you giving them orgasms and being able to enjoy the last 10 seconds of the sex when they want it. Like, only when they want it. And you're not allowed to, we'll talk about that in a minute, you're not allowed to do anything to assert any kind of authority or any kind of reciprocity or any kind of equanimity at all. You are there to serve the woman at her pleasure, and if she wants to destroy your life, that's her right to do so because vagina. And if you don't like it, well, then you're an incel, and you're coping and seething and dilating, and you need to be deplatformed because of misogyny and hate speech. And that's the world we live in. So, yeah, ghosting is now illegal. Okay, next article is kind of related. This is kind of, okay, it's just, it never ends. This just came out in August 1st, 2022. So this just came out. From Psychology Today. This confirms what I talked about with the ghosting thing. Men's silence in relationships. Men's fear of conflict in relationships may lead to unhealthy withholding. So, once again, you have, let's juxtapose these two articles. Anti-ghosting. Feminists are crying to the government to make it a crime for men to try to avoid a conflict with women when they want to leave. And then you have Avram Weiss, PhD, putting all of the responsibility on men. Oh, men have an unhealthy fear of conflict. Well, gee, dipshit, I wonder why. Could it be the Duluth model? Could it be that men are basically always guilty for having a penis, and that women have all the leverage in every interaction according to the law? I wonder why men might be afraid of conflict when they're guaranteed to lose that conflict. Like, look at most married men. Probably not Halsey, because he's an Orthodox Jew and he lives in a based patriarchal community. But you look at most married men in Western society who have to deal with this shit. Look at the soulless, dead stare in their eyes. They are completely fucking broken. They're like a zoo animal. Like, go to the zoo and look at the animals. They're just completely broken. They know, like, this is their tomb. They're never getting out. And they can't leave, and they'll never be free. And that's how these married men are, for the most part. It's just absolutely fucking disgusting. And this is the thing that pisses me off about trad cucks and so-called, like, these people who, they're well-meaning, but their kind of centrism absolutely gets in the way of them actually making any progress in the problem. It's always men's fault. So here we have men protecting themselves via ghosting as an example. Just the ghosting thing is just one example. Men are trying to avoid conflict because they know that if she does something stupid or crazy, attacks him, hurts herself, anything, he's going to jail. Because the laws are so fucked and the system is so broken that the only thing he can do to protect himself is just disappear without a trace so that she can't accuse him of doing anything after the fact. And then you have fucking retards like this guy saying that men have an unhealthy fear of conflict.
I would also keep in mind in the case of, like, the ghosting, like, that wouldn't even be as necessary. Sorry if you can hear the thunder right now. It wouldn't be even as necessary if they were allowed to, like, record, like, just, like, have some kind of evidence. But no, that's illegal.
That's illegal.
Two-party consent in a lot of states. So and you can't record to exonerate yourself. Like, look, I'm literally recording. She's literally beating herself. I'm, like, across the room. Like, no, that's not admissible. Sorry, bro.
Yeah, they even did. So there's been several cases, even back when I was on YouTube, we would cover some of these cases where a man would use a woman's, like, social media, her history, to prove that she has a history of... In fact, I don't remember the exact details, but there was a woman who had a history of making up false accusations about men. And feminists made a law to make it inadmissible to point that out in court. So when you show up to court and you hear a woman making a false accusation, you're not the defense is not allowed to point out this is her 400th false accusation. That's not in it. That's not admissible. That's not relevant. It's bullshit, and it's only because it's because of women. It's because of gynocentrism. And this was years ago. Like, the laws have only gotten worse, and women have gotten worse. I mean, even when I started my YouTube channel back in 2015, men weren't marrying fucking sex workers. This idea of OnlyFans and seeking arrangements, that was just getting started. And now you have guys like shaming men for not wanting to marry whores. That's how far we've slipped just in the last 10 years. It's fucking disgusting. And but pisses me off. This really pisses me off because, I understand women being self-interested. The white knights and the cucks who will defend women and attack men themselves. That is absolutely fucking disgusting. And so this dipshit writing this article shaming men for their silence and fear of conflict, which is completely rational, by the way. You should, like, if a woman is trying to start a fight with you, whether it's an argument or a physical altercation, you need to get the fuck out of there. If you whoop her ass, you're going to jail. There's only one thing to do, is you have to change your gender to a woman. And what you do is, this is the secret. You know how, like, like in Dragon Ball Z, they have like they say like, Kaioken, or they go Final Flash, or they Kamehameha, and that's their big battle cry as they do a big attack. Your big attack, if you're a trans woman, when a woman starts a fight with you, is you go, trans rights are real rights! And you start whooping her fucking ass right there. Trans rights are real rights! Trans rights are real rights! Like, break her ribs, break her face, fucking curb stomp her. Like, just, you have to keep crying out, trans rights are real rights. And that's
how
your
you
battle.
reach your power level over 9,000.
That's like the Kaioken attack. And
this is all a metaphor.
No, I'm being 100% serious. Whoop her fucking ass. As long as you cry out trans rights are real rights, as long as you're a trans woman, what are they going to do? You're a trans woman. She's a TERF. She was misgendering you. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Anyway, but unless you're a trans woman, you can't do that. If a woman starts like getting physical with you, you need to fucking just run. Because if you whoop her ass, you're going to jail. So you can't whoop her ass. If you're a trans woman, though, go to town. Go to fucking town. The world is yours. All right. Building on, let's see. We're at 2 hours. Might as well take a quick commercial break. We'll come back. We got some more fun feminism, kind of centrism articles, like good classic MGTOW articles. No more COVID, monkeypox, end of Western civilization stuff. Just good old fashioned. Let's talk about how shitty women are. All right. We'll be right back at our commercial break. Our sponsor, The Dollhouse, The Way of Monkey Book, Hardly Heroes, 13 Rules, and The Menu by Aaron Clary. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. Okay, so we got more fun articles to talk about. So this next article is from themirror.co.uk, and this just shows this poor guy. I feel so... Isaac Ramirez, if you're out there, buddy, I see you. I understand. Like, let me explain my man Isaac. He has this plan. So here's this. He did the most benign, passive way to try to train his girlfriend to stop yelling at him all the time. So he created a system where he puts $360 in an account or a jar or whatever, and he removes $1 every time his girlfriend yells at him. And then on Valentine's Day, he spends whatever money is in the jar. And I don't know if there's a physical jar, if it's an account or a spreadsheet he keeps. I don't know. But it was to train her to stop yelling at him. So he's with this cunt who just yells at him all the time, and to try to... He's not taking anything away from her. He's saying, I will buy you a present on Valentine's Day worth over $350 if you stop yelling at me. And every time you yell at me, I'm going to remove $1. And according to the article...
Keep in mind, it's not just any time she yells at him. It's any day. So $1 for each day she yells at him, not just like each instance.
Right.
And
So
you'll go on.
well, the last time Valentine's Day rolled around, he only had $40 left over, which means out of the 365 days of the year, she had yelled at him 225
No,
days.
it says she yelled at him. I mean, it says they were like took $320 out. So that means she yelled at him 320 days out of the year.
Yeah, out of the 300, yeah, my table napkin math was off because I was doing it in my head. Anyway, yeah, so 320 times, out of the 365 days in the year, she yelled at him 320 of those days. And so she only got a $40 gift. Here's the thing. She still got a $40 gift. She got a $40 gift that she clearly doesn't deserve. And this guy, he's just passively trying to teach his girlfriend to stop yelling at him every day. And he's offering, like, this is money. He doesn't have to give her a gift at all. He doesn't have to buy her a gift at all. He's just saying, hey, if you stop yelling at me, you'll get a bigger gift on Valentine's Day than if you keep yelling at me. And according to the article, people are calling this toxic. How dare he try to passively, calmly, and reasonably teach his girl. This is like shit like when you have a child that's throwing tantrums. Like, you should whoop that kid's fucking ass. But some parents are like, oh no, let's try a reward system. Like, every day you don't throw a tantrum, I'll put a star by your name. And after 5 days of getting a star by your name, I'll take you out for ice cream. I'm sure you know parents who do this shit. These like hippie parents who think they don't believe in spanking, so they believe in like using rewards to try to bribe their kids into being well behaved. It doesn't work, by the way, but that's where That's where we are. This is where we are now. This is where we are in the current year. My man Isaac is basically taking the approach that a hippie parent who refuses to spank their kids would take, trying to bribe his girlfriend to stop yelling at him every day. Which I don't know about you. Like, someone fucking yelling in my face, that is immediately, like, that's it. You fucking yell in my face, I'm going to give you one warning. First of all, I'm going to remove myself from the situation before I punch you. But if you yell in my face multiple times, like, I'm going to tell you, like, you need to stop yelling in my fucking face or I'm going to knock your goddamn teeth out. This is your only fucking warning. Yell in my face again and you're going to fucking see my fucking monkey fist go through your fucking teeth. And I'm going to rip your goddamn jaw off. Your goddamn jaw off like a goddamn Mortal Kombat fatality. Do not fucking yell in my face. It's one of, like, there are certain things that piss me off. And there's certain things that will fucking set me off like a motherfucker. And yelling in my goddamn face is one of those things. Like, I understand, like, if I'm in a courtroom or I'm being arrested and I'm being yelled at, okay, this is a very extreme circumstance. But if you're just yelling in my face on a daily basis, I don't care how good your pussy is. I don't care how big your titties are. You need to get the fuck out right the fuck now. I never want to fucking see you again, period. Like, I'll give you one warning when I'm first getting to know you, like, hey, don't ever yell at me again. That's not cool. But, like, this dude is doing this shit 240 days out of the year. He's getting yelled at by his girlfriend, and he's putting up with this shit to the point where he tried to come up with a bribery system to get her to stop yelling at him every day. And this is what pisses me off. This is what pisses me off. He's the toxic one. He's not hitting her. He's not threatening her. He's not taking anything away from her. He's saying, I'm not going to give you as big of a gift on Valentine's Day if you keep yelling at me. And he's the toxic one. That's where we are. This is the current year with the gynocentric bullshit. This is the deal that you're expected to make as a man. This is how shitty women are. And you're just expected to tolerate it and put up with everything because their pussy's so good and their titty's so soft. It's like, fuck this shit. Get a doll. There's like, I'm not ashamed to say, Celestina has never raised her voice to me once. Ever. Not even a little bit. I've never heard a peep of complaint from her. An absolute angel. That's my man Isaac. Isaac. My man. Get a doll. Get it. Get it. You'll be so happy. You'll be so happy. You don't need to put up with this shit. And she's not even that good looking. But like, it's not worth it, my man. It's not worth it. Get it, doll.
Also keep in mind this is his fiance, not just his girlfriend.
Oh my God, Isaac! No, Isaac. You're gonna.
To be fair to him, although obviously he shouldn't be getting married to her. His thing is like being one of those like kind of lifestyle influencers, like always shirtless, always on like yachts and stuff. Obviously, I can tell he's taking steroids in some of the pictures.
Wait,
like this,
whoa.
This is how he's.
Wait! I missed that. Isaac, my man Isaac is a fucking like relationship coach, Mr. I'm a Success, alpha male.
Well, I'm just like scrolling on his TikTok, and like that's like he's like doing like in one of the things he's like how to I don't ever make a face when I'm jealous, and then he just looks down the camera shirtless and starts like doing that like that peck dancing thing.
Oh, the
like,
peck dance, yeah.
Right, flex left with his like his other boy like right next to him. Just and like all these like shirtless yachts, everything, doing like the sexy police uniform. So like that's like how he like is like making his money. Like that's his career, and he's like a firefighter and all that. So like obviously having like a fiance or a girlfriend, that's obviously part of the image, like the lifestyle thing.
So
okay,
this is even worse. So this goes to like when you see Brad Pitt or Johnny Depp or Jimmy Dean, the porn star, getting Me Too'd and getting their careers destroyed and getting accused. And, like all these retards are like, oh, you just got to maintain frame to your fam. You just got to be an alpha male. Got to be a Chad. If you work out and you can make good money and you blah, 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 oh, you can get these high quality women. This dude, he works out, takes steroids. He's on a fucking yacht. I didn't even catch that part of the article. But this dude is like this successful. Look at me. I am all that is man. I'm the Giga Chad, and his fiance is a cunt who yells at him 320 days out of the year. And by trying to train her passively to stop yelling at him, he's called toxic. And it's like, I don't understand. How can I make this clear for you? There is nothing you can do. Women are horrible. They're horrible. Horrible with a W. And they're not going to change until men stop putting up with their bullshit. You as an individual don't have the power to fix this system. It's out of your control. What you can do is you can remove yourself from this system. Like, Isaac he could think about how happy his life could be. He clearly makes good money. He's successful. He takes his health seriously. Why would he want to hitch his wagon to this shrieking cunt who's going to yell at him all the time and cause all this fucking drama and stress in his life? And she's not even that good looking. What the hell's wrong, Isaac? You owe it to yourself. It's your life. Why are you throwing it away to deal with this bitch? And then for him to be called toxic for trying to passively, like even using the word train is a strong word. He's just offering an incentive. He's trying to incentivize his fiance to stop yelling in his face every day. And he's the toxic one while being a bodybuilder, guy with a yacht, super successful, social media influencer guy. Which, of course, 99% of you out there are not. You
like also remember that in mind his training strategy is also not even working if it's only 40 days, which like for context is only like a month and 10 days that she's not yelling at him.
Yeah, that being said, remember the boyfriend trainer app? This is a far cry from what that app was like.
It saddens me. First of all, I'm saddened by guys like Isaac who clearly deserve better, who are high value men themselves putting up with this bullshit. But then I'm also saddened by people who like to peddle the lie that if you become like Isaac, you'll be able to get, like, clearly this is the best Isaac could pull. like maybe there were slightly more attractive women he could have attracted, but this is what he's going to marry this woman. This is what you're like. Think about the amount of time Isaac has put into going to the gym, working on his business, building this wealth, buying these yachts. This is his whole life. His whole life has built up to this moment. He's done all this in order to attract the best woman he could possibly attract. It's all led up to this moment, and this is what he gets. This is what my man Isaac gets. He gets this fucking cunt who yells in his face 4/5 the year. This is it. This is what it was all for. All that sacrifice, all that toil, all for this. This is your prize. And sadly, like, given the state of Western women, she's probably on the upper end. Like, at least she's not a whore. At least she's not a single mom. At least she doesn't have fucking some kind of STD. Like, that's where we are. We're not even scraped. We've broken through the bottom of the barrel. We are now digging into the earth. We are now digging a hole through the barrel into the solid earth. That's where we are with women.
I can't believe you're giving that much credit. I mean, if he's writing that he's basically trying to train her not to yell by being a dick and whatever.
He's not being a dick.
By withdrawing some of whatever. He being a cuck is more like it. But what I'm saying is, I bet you she's just marrying him, and within a few years, she'll file for divorce and take him for half his shit and be like, "Oh, we started out on this foot where he like went around telling people that he was basically training online."
Of course. No, you're 100% right. That's exactly how this story will end. And sadly, this is what I'm trying to tell people about. This is why I say just get a doll. It's not just because the Dollhouse is a sponsor. It's also because think about the amount of...
say the Dollhouse is the best sponsor.
They are the best sponsor. I don't just stand behind the product. I bend it over and I fuck it. The point is think about the amount of time. Like, imagine you're Isaac. You're Isaac Ramirez, social media influencer. Think about the hours you spend building your business, your brand, your body, your image. All that time, you could be doing anything else in life. You're spending all of this in order to attract a woman. That's what it's all about. And this is what you get. This is the big prize that you won. Is this fucking cunt who yells in your face and is going to divorce you. And if you just let go of that, if you just got a doll, you could have satisfied all your sexual needs, and you could literally live your life for yourself and do literally anything you want using all that. Like, it takes a lot of work to achieve what he's achieved. He's achieved more than most people, and yet this is the best he could do. This is what's out there. This is what the landscape looks like. And it's just bullshit, and it's not worth it. So just dolls aren't for everyone, I guess, but it's like, is this what your plan is? Oh, I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to get six-pack abs, and I'm going to buy a yacht, and I'm going to get my own loud fucking Mexican girlfriend who's going to yell in my face all the time. Oh boy, I can't wait. I can't wait to have a loud Mexican girlfriend yell in my face.
I'm surprised more of these like types that like they take steroids to get like the best body and they do all the modeling, and then they have like their girlfriend yelling at them constantly. Like, how do they not just like fly into like a roid rage like every day?
Well, it might be the microplastics causing it might be offsetting the steroids. I don't know.
Yeah, also, some people just, they can't be happy unless they're constantly fighting. Like, he probably enjoys fighting.
Maybe. Well, no, because why would he be training her to stop yelling at him if he enjoyed it? If it was like a sadomasochist thing, like she's the dominatrix and he's the sub, which that would be even more ironic. If he's like this six-pack abs social media influencer with a yacht, and in reality he's a sub who lets his girlfriend beat him up and crush his balls, that would be even more ironic.
I mean, to be fair, I don't know if it's his own yacht. It's just he has several things with him on a yacht.
Well, it makes me sad. Like, I'm sad for Isaac. I see the potential. I see the life Isaac could make for himself and the things he could do for his life, and he's throwing it all away for this thing that is clearly not worth the sacrifice. It's like, I use the example of, eating out of the garbage. It's like going to a fancy restaurant and paying top dollar, and they bring you shit out of the garbage, and you're like, some people will be like, fuck this, like, I want my, I'm not paying for this, I'm out of here, go fuck yourself. And some people will be like, delicious garbage, only $200 a plate, sounds good, because they want the prestige of saying they eat at this fancy restaurant for some reason. I'm just sad. I'm sad for my man Isaac. I think he could do better. I think he could be happier. I don't think he's going to be happy, despite his smiling Instagram face. I think this is going to end very badly. And I want you, the people in this audience, I want you to be better than Isaac. I want you to live a life of freedom and happiness, where you can have your needs met in a mutually beneficial way, where you don't have to sacrifice everything for this. All right. Jesus, man. All right, we got more. One more, I think. Yeah. Again, the hits keep coming this week. From the dailymail.co.uk. Woman who's fed up with her gropey husband pestering her for sex fiercely divides opinion, as some claim he's abusing her and urge her to leave, while others insist he'd be entitled to look elsewhere. So let me paint you a picture. This is Isaac's future, by the way, to kind of bridge the gap between these two articles. This woman is essentially decided to cut the sex off entirely from her husband. Just, you're done. We're never having sex again. Go fuck yourself, literally. And he's pestering her for sex because she's his wife. That's your fucking job. Your fucking job. Like, if we weren't gonna fuck, why the fuck did I marry you? I don't need a fucking roommate. And yet, once again, he's abusing her. How dare he want to have sex with his wife? What an asshole. You need to, now they're not saying he should leave her. He's saying, he'd be entitled to look elsewhere, basically getting a mistress. This is very common. Like, when I talk about dolls, a lot of married couples, the husband ends up getting a doll because the wife cuts off the sex. And from the wife's perspective, it's fine. Because, if a guy gets a mistress or an extra girlfriend, that's going to cost her money. More money he's spending on a mistress or a girlfriend is less money being spent on her. A doll is very low maintenance. It's the upfront cost of buying the doll and some baby oil, some petroleum jelly, some cosplay once in a while. Very, very cheap. Almost no upkeep. So compared to a girlfriend or a mistress, dolls are extremely cheap. So basically, it's really fucked up because you have these this is very common, by the way. I shit you not. Married guys with sex dolls. And so the guy is essentially, he has his waifu, he's having sex and, all that stuff, while also taking care of this woman who's doing nothing. Nothing. She's just there spending his money and living in his house. What? It's like, and then what's funny is, from a societal level, they would look at that as he's beating the odds. What's the secret to your marriage? And most people get divorced. What's the secret? And the secret is he got a doll. And so, and the funny thing is, had he just gotten the doll to begin with, he wouldn't be splitting his fucking bills with a fucking woman who's doing nothing. And then, so, bring it back to the article, here's this guy in a situation. He's trying to, have sex with his wife, and he's a toxic, abusive rapist, and she should leave him for the crime of wanting to have sex with his wife. It's like, this is where we are. This is the current year. This is how bad the deal is. There's just nothing there. So, you got my man Isaac over here with his abusive girlfriend, and he's the toxic one. And then you have whatever, it just says woman. It doesn't give the name. It's from some British parenting forum. And she's shaming her husband. Well, she's airing out her dirty laundry on the internet, talking about how her husband is too gropey, and he's always pestering her for sex. It's like going to a restaurant. Like, oh God, these customers, they keep coming in and pestering me for food. Why won't they go away? These stupid customers always coming to this restaurant, asking me for food. Ridiculous. where do they think they are? Fucking stupid. It's just get a doll. I swear to fucking God. It's like, why? Just get a doll. Like, I don't understand. I don't think they even have kids. I mean, they're at a parenting forum. Maybe they have a couple kids together and the guy's fucked. Just get a doll. If your wife doesn't like it, be like, look, I have needs. I don't want to divorce you because we have kids. I don't want to get a girlfriend or a mistress, but I'm going to masturbate, and I'm going to have this sex doll, and I'm going to basically masturbate with the doll. If you don't want that, you know what? Just to make your wife feel better, because obviously he's attracted to his wife, get a doll that looks like your wife. Get a doll that looks kind of sort of like your wife if you squint, and then you can have your sex doll waifu, and then, look, you can just, if your wife isn't in the mood, which is always, you just go and basically fuck your silicone replacement. And if she's ever in the mood, there you go. Will she divorce him or make him get rid of the doll just to make him miserable? Probably. That's why it's just not worth it. This is just such shit. And it's not getting better. Like, these articles are going to get more common. And society couldn't be more clear. Society always sides with the woman. So Isaac is a toxic dipshit who needs to be dumped and the girls can do no wrong. This woman who's not giving her husband the sex she swore to give him during their wedding vows, for which it basically, if he went outside the marriage and fucked prostitutes or escorts or got a girlfriend or a mistress, he'd be an asshole. How dare you cheat on your wife and the mother of your children? And if he's like, well, she stopped having sex with me for years, and when I tried to kind of cajole her into giving me some sex once in a while, she cried to the internet and everyone took her side and said I was being toxic. So I decided to have my needs met elsewhere. Well, that's no excuse. You're just supposed to never be happy again. That's the price you pay for being born a man. You're not allowed to ever be happy, ever for the rest of your life. You must sacrifice everything for women and never be happy. That's what the world wants. And here I am. I'm like, hey, you can just get a doll and do whatever you want in life. Don't listen to that incel. He fucks dolls. He's probably like a virgin. Don't listen to him. It's like, look, I don't know what to say. This is such bullshit. Do you not see the bullshit? Why? Especially with dolls being like, I got Celestina back in like 2017. The dolls have gotten so much better. Now they got more points of articulation. They got like tongues, and they have a doll now that has like, it gyrates its hips. You know, like the robots are coming. It's going to be great. Like, why would you put up with this bullshit? Why would you? Don't you want to be happy? Isn't that the point of life? Don't you want to be happy in life? What's it all for if you're going to be miserable? Anyway. All right. So just, God, all right. And two more articles pointing out how women are horrible. So from thesun.co.uk.